Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Society of Germantown. My name is Charles Gabriel, and I will be your worship associate this morning. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation united in a common purpose to make love real in our lives and in the world. We are diverse in our beliefs, atheistic, agnostic, believers and seekers, and we welcome you here no matter your race, your class, your gender identity, your sexual orientation, your family structure, your job, your health. No matter our differences, we know that we are all a part of the independent web of life. Whether this is your first, fifth, or 15th visit, we invite you to introduce yourself to someone at the welcome table if you haven't already done so, and they would be happy to answer any questions you have about the congregation or about Unitarian Universalism. Please complete a visitor card and join us for fellowship and coffee in the dining room following service. Gender-neutral restrooms can be found at the bottom of the stairs in the back through the narthex, and gendered restrooms are through this door, down the hall, and that way again. Use whichever feels right for you. For our announcements today, following worship, Reverend Hannah will hold the third and final session of Parenting as a Spiritual Practice in the Sullivan Chapel starting at noon. The Ending Racism Committee is hosting a book talk with Amy Jane Cohen, author of Black History in the Philadelphia Landscape. Cohen's book tracks the influence of important Black Philadelphians had and have in shaping the city where we live. Join the presentation in the Edna Jones room upstairs, also starting at 12. A guided tour of this historical building is provided immediately following the service. It will begin at the back of the sanctuary. Join the USG Feminist Theology group next Sunday after the service for a presentation and discussion of the book, Wicked. Also next Sunday, UU 101 will be offered in the Children's Library next to the elevator from noon to approximately 1 p.m. One minor thing change in our order of service in the upcoming events. We show correctly that there's a Black Lives Matter vigil on Lincoln Drive on Tuesday at 4 p.m. It also shows incorrectly that Black Lives Matter vigil is scheduled at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. It's only on Tuesday. So now, as we deepen into worship, I ask that you silence your cell phones and allow yourself to be present for this hour. But please, please don't silence your children. Their sounds are always welcome here.
Good morning, Unitarian Society of Germantown. I'm Reverend Hannah Capaldi. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve this congregation as your minister. It is good to be with you this morning and see the pews so full. Our call to worship today comes from Kim Mason. Once upon a time, chemists believed they could transform lead into gold or death into life. We laugh. But are we not also in the business of alchemy? Turning loneliness into connection, pain into comfort, anger into solidarity, faith into action? The subtle magic of church combines love with justice, creates hope out of fear, and transforms individuals into community. Here, we engage in a holy alchemy, finding beauty in the ordinary and life in the present. Come, let us be transformed together.
This morning, the chalice will be lit by Tammy Keller. So please join me in unison with the words printed in your order of service. We light this chalice, the beacon that calls us to love, to justice, to a deepening of the Spirit. And now please rise in body or spirit for our first hymn, number 95, in the gray hymnal, There Is More Love Somewhere.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Zoe Johnston. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Director of Spiritual Development. And it's our time for all ages. So I invite all of our kids and our Young at Heart members to come join me either on the steps or up on the floor. Even the ones in the wiggle room are welcome. But it's a long trek, I know. Yeah, wherever you like to sit, on the steps, on the floor, wherever you feel comfy. Good morning, Justice. Good morning. Good morning, all. It's good to see you. So I don't have a story today. I don't have any fun picture book. I mainly just wanted to check in with you all and see how you're doing. I'm sure you know that on Tuesday, we had election night, and that maybe, yes, so Donald Trump won the presidential election, and that might have brought up a lot of feelings, maybe with your grown-ups or maybe for you. And I think that I don't have any story today because we're all experiencing this together. You know, we all have the same experience of this. So I wanted to check in with you all to give you a chance to either, you know, are you feeling anything, or are you noticing anything about the people around you? And just give you a chance to kind of say what's been coming up for you the past 5 days, however long it's been. Any big feelings? And if there aren't any big feelings, that's okay too. Have you been wanting to play and to be joyful and to maybe not think about it? Is that, I think, yeah, there we go. I saw lots of nods at that one. But have people been wanting to just play and forget about it and be with their friends? I see lots of nods. Milo, is that what you wanted to play? Yeah. And I saw Reagan and Carlisle, yeah, wanting to just hang out with friends and do other things. What did you say, Micah? Just trying to do other things now? Micah's saying that some people like it and some people don't, and that's the country's choice. Well, what I just wanted to say with you all gathered here is that, you know, we just sang our There's More Love Somewhere song, and I just wanted to remind you that as Unitarian Universalists, we believe in beloved community. And as beloved community, that means that when we join here on Sunday mornings, this is our place where we can have more love and more joy and more play, and that I hope that this is a place that you feel like you can play with each other and have joy, but at the same time that we are practicing what love looks like. And that, you know, maybe in the next few years that means like us being really good about each other's pronouns, because we don't experience that elsewhere, or be really thoughtful about accessibility needs and the ways that we make spaces accessible and inclusive. And we think about gender and race and economics, and we think about all that together so that we can all be present together. But mainly so that we can be joyful, and so we can play together, and so we can color, so that we can run around and play with Legos, and maybe play games together, and do all of the things that are joyful and don't make us think about big, heavy things. And that this is the place that you feel safe to do that. Does that feel better for people to be able to play and to think about it? Yeah, I see nods for that one. Well, and that's a reminder for all of us, is that in beloved community, this is a place to feel loved and to feel joy and to get to play and to get to rest. But in order to do that, we have to take care of each other in the process so that we all feel safe to be here together. And with that, we're going to go off to our classes to get to be playful and joyful and maybe forget about all this for the next hour. But it is so good to see you all. Yeah. And so our congregation is going to send us all off to our classes by singing Go Now in Peace.
can't get over how many children there were today. Wasn't that wonderful? Today, we share our plate with the Abortion Liberation Fund of Pennsylvania, which protects and expands abortion access to anyone seeking reproductive health services, regardless of circumstance. A key voice for abortion rights since 1985, ALF-PA provides counseling, emergency financial assistance, and critical political advocacy. They engage in a broad base of supporters and reduce shame and stigma by publicly promoting the affirmative value of abortion. So please give generously, as we have found that the more we give away, the more that comes our way. To give in cash or check, please drop it in the plate as ushers pass by. To give by text, please follow the instructions on the back cover of your order of service.
Yeah, turning it on, that usually works. Turn myself on. I wrote this song in early 2020 for when I found out that a really good friend of mine's father was in the hospital with COVID. And this is a song I'm going to teach you, and we can all sing it together as sort of a meditation. The words are, I wish I could take all the pain away. So you say that with me. I wish I could take all the pain away, but all I can give is love. But all I can give is love. Those are all the words. And always remembering that love is a verb. We'll sing it. Can I have the D chord? And you can all stay seated and get comfortable and feel this in your bones. I wish I could take all the pain. I wish I could take all the pain. I wish I could take all the pain away. I wish I could take all the pain. I wish I could take all the pain, but all I can give, all I can give is love. Let's all sing together. I wish I could take all the pain. I wish I could take all the pain. I wish I could take all the pain away. I wish I could take all the pain. I wish I could take all the pain, but all I can give, all I can give is love. I wish I could take all like to invite everybody to stand up and close your eyes and sing this together one more time.
There's a box at the end of your pew. Ask and ye shall receive, Marissa. I invite you to settle into a posture of prayer or meditation, to allow your body to rest heavy in your seat. Find your feet planted on the ground. Let your shoulders roll and drop. Take a deep breath in. Exhale fully. Breathe in deeply. Exhale fully. Become present to the beating of your heart. To the wiggle of your toes. To the sound of the air pushed through the room. A Prayer for the Unfolding by Eli Fagali. May we stay open and turn toward what is unfolding within us and before us. May we feel all that must be felt and allow the earth to remember us, to hold us, so that we may flow with the fear of what is coming and the suffering that is. May we carry ourselves as ancient beings born from survivors who endured horrors, wars, dictatorships, brutality, loss, who dreamt us into existence, who danced and sang and wept and loved us here. May we understand that to have faith is to honor them. May we find refuge in each other, in community. May we interrupt the cycles of reactivity with courageous love. May we alchemize fear and rage into a force that spins the wheel of time forward. May we heal ourselves to freedom so that we may help others do the same. May we remember who we are, Earth and the cosmos. May we hold sacred our responsibility to each other and all beings. May we learn to love the world and all its horrors as though it was God itself. May we draw from the boundless source of love and light and energy within to ease the suffering of all. May we be wise enough not to shoulder the world's weight as if it were ours to bear alone. May we learn to rest. May we find the humility to look in the mirror while not hiding in the false comfort of critique. May we find the courage to dwell in the unknowing, to trust the Spirit within us, pointing towards other ways of being. May we have the vision to see ourselves in a longer view of time, understanding that the work of collective liberation will continue long, long after our bodies have decomposed back into the ground of the earth. May we allow ourselves to accept fully and completely what is unfolding within us and before us, so that we may change with it. May it be so. Amen.
At this time, we invite you to contribute your joys and your sorrows to the bowls of water at the front of the sanctuary. Choose a smooth stone or a pebble and place it in the water to absorb your pain or ripple out with your joy. Sterns will play as we process. So please come ahead. Reverend Hannah will now place one smooth stone and one pebble into the water on behalf of all those joining us online. But please remain seated as we all sing Spirit of Life, after which we will share a moment of silence. My testimony this morning is more a reflection. And I want to reflect on the 7th President of the United States, Andrew Jackson. Jackson was a flaming white supremacist. He was a slaveholder, owning over 300 slaves all during his life. And he believed in and practiced harsh punishment of his slaves. He was responsible for the ethnic cleansing of Native Americans, displaced tens of thousands of Native Americans from their ancestral homelands east of the Mississippi, resulting in thousands of deaths along the Trail of Tears. He was responsible for the Indian Removal Act. He was a strong supporter of tariffs. He was instrumental in the closing of the Second Bank of the United States, which was the precursor to the Federal Reserve. He was a demagogue who ignored the Constitution when it suited his purposes. I don't know if that sounds familiar to any of you. But I reflect on the fact that in spite of all this, our country survived. Not only did it survive, but it prospered. So I think there's hope. And I'd like to read a poem that sort of fits in with this, called In Blackwater Woods, written by Mary Oliver. Look, The trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this: the fires and their black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know to live in this world. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones knowing that your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let go, to let it go. Now, many of us have experienced profound disappointment this past week, but it's time to let it go. The reading this morning is entitled Shoulders, and it's by Naomi Shihab Nye. A man crosses the street in rain, stepping gently, looking 2 times north and south, because his son is asleep on his shoulder. No car must splash him, no car drive too near to his shadow. This man carries the world's most sensitive cargo, but he's not marked. Nowhere does his jacket say, fragile, handle with care. His ear fills up with breathing. He hears the hum of a boy's dream deep inside him. We are not going to be able to live in this world if we're not willing to do what he's doing with one another. The road will only be wide. The rain will never stop falling.
I spent a lot of time this week taking inventory. I spent a lot of this week taking inventory of my life, weighing out the various privileges and oppressions that intersect in my lived reality. I took stock of my life, ticking off the ways I might be vulnerable. The big fat gay marriage, the beautiful children with 2 moms, the job where each Sunday I mount the pulpit and tell my flock to buck the system and decry all forms of oppression. I took stock, too, of all the things I have going for me: my stellar health insurance, my white skin, my financial safety net. I called my dad and said, "Dad, look into Greek citizenship, will you? When they come for my marriage and my children, I want an escape hatch, okay?" I looked around and I thought, it's just 4 years. I can eke out 4 years under the radar. I can get by for 4 years. I'm wondering, I'm curious how many of you resonate with this impulse, this taking stock of your life, your vulnerabilities, your exposure, the desire to run away, the feeling of needing to turn inward, close off, batten down the hatches. How many of you felt that this week? It's typical of grief, this kind of bargaining, this kind of anger and denial, this kind of depression. We'll all spend time in grief in the coming years, cycling in and out of the 5 stages enumerated by Kubler-Ross. We will need to grieve. We'll need space to feel all the things that allow us to finally rest in acceptance. We will need to arrive at acceptance eventually, and then what? What then? I don't want to do crisis church, I whined to my colleagues. I wanted to do boring, regular, schmegular church. I don't want to be a pillar of strength and hope and fortitude. Tough shit, Hannah. My inner voice said, because here we are. And for all the times I said hope is a discipline and I didn't really mean it, I mean it now, beloveds. We have rolled out the red carpet for fascism to ascend to the highest office in our country, and things are about to get hard and scary. So we're going to put on our big kid pants. It's time to find our way to and through acceptance and get to work. Reverend Molly Hausch-Gordon, UU minister in Missouri, writes, "Here's one thing. I think humans in Western cultures often need to feel like there's this upward arc in history. Some promised arrival in order for there to be meaning in our lives. But the place we are going is just around the sun on the miracle of a planet. She says, and I want to tell you that we are still alive in a world that is so beautiful and so brutal all at once and always has been. And it is all drenched in meaning, no matter where it's headed, and it matters that we love each other well, and that we drink up the beauty and resist the brutality. It matters. At the center of our faith sits love, unyielding, unconditional love. We are held in love, and we are propelled by love, propelled to resist. Resist the brutality. To resist the call to distrust the neighbor, to distance ourselves from the stranger, resist the desire to ignore the vulnerable and the weak when we ourselves feel vulnerable and weak. We resist placing our well-being above others to merely get by instead of bringing us all along to thrive. We are propelled instead to loving so hard, so fiercely that we come to embody the truth that we are one another. Each family separated at the border is our family. Each trans teenager sleeping in their car after being kicked out is our child. Each mother bleeding out in the waiting room is our mother. We are one another. We belong to each other. Poet Gwendolyn Brooks wrote, "That time we all heard it cool and clear, cutting across the hot grit of the day, the major voice, the adult voice, foregoing rolling river, foregoing tearful tale of bale and barge and other symptoms of an old despond, warning in music words, devout and large, that we are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond. It matters that we resist the brutality and we drink up the beauty, because in the resistance we find our power. In the resistance, we retain our humanity. Danger of losing our humanity must be met with more humanity, declared Toni Morrison. For all of you who took stock, who took inventory of your lives this week and felt that impulse towards closing in, towards hardening, dare I say towards despair, don't give up your power before they even tell you to. Scholar Timothy Snyder writes, "Most of the power of authoritarianism is freely given. In times like these, individuals think ahead about what a more repressive government will want and then offer themselves without being asked. A citizen who adapts in this way is teaching power what it can do. Resist, beloveds. In all the small ways we can, keep the bumper stickers on your car. Wear the political t-shirt. Tell your person in the coffee shop you don't think their bigoted joke is funny. Resist. Give the $20 instead of the $10 to the homeless on the street. Resist. Don't take down your pride flag. Buy a bigger one. Resist. Charles shared the words of Naomi Shabab Nye in our reading today. The road will only be wide. The rain will never stop falling. And we must be willing to do what that man is doing, picking up the child tenderly, with compassion, carrying him across to the other side safely, because the road is about to get wider. And the rain is about to get colder and fall harder. And in the coming years, we will be both the man and the child, needing to be carried and doing the carrying. And that is why we come here. That is why we make community. To take turns, tending to and being tended, to learn how to live in reciprocity, that there will be those who catch us when our courage falters, when our nervous systems are overloaded and frayed, when we feel ourselves ground up in the gears of a flailing American empire. We will need each other. Resist and return here. It is not a mistake that our pews are extra full today. People woke up and said, I need church. Woke up Wednesday and knew that Instagram wasn't going to salve the wounds torn open by Trump's election. Woke up and trusted their gut, listened to their gut, which cried out for connection to something bigger and more beautiful, for a place to be held tenderly, and urged forward towards bolder action, meaning-making, risk-taking, in the name of a fight that has greater meaning than simply just getting by. Resist the brutality. Drink up the beauty. For congregational community was made for these times. Being known, knowing one another, loving and being loved, singing alongside each other and offering what you can to the collective. Congregational community knows how to do what needs to be done in times like these. Apathy, alienation, isolation is what fascism eats for breakfast. And so we come here to get the antidote and be inoculated, to receive care, to open our hearts wider, to feel belonging. When the grieving is done, we arrive at acceptance. In the coming days and weeks, we will do the work of making love real in this world. We will be the ones who resist, who do not cede power before it is demanded, and who take action to starve the appetites of fascism. We will be the ones who take in the scared and persecuted. We will be the ones to sing and pray and cultivate hope. We will be the ones to shout from the rooftops and roar at the passing cars on Lincoln Drive. We are not giving up and we are not giving in. We will grow so spiritually strong, so spiritually sure of our responsibilities to one another, to the bond and magnitude of one another's presence in our lives. We will make of this place a true sanctuary. All who enter here will find shelter and reprieve. We will welcome one another with warmth and connection, in macaroni and cheese, in using the correct pronouns for one another, in the moonless walks in the labyrinth, in the peals of laughter of our children playing oblivious, rightfully oblivious. The machine of autocracy relies on distrust of one another, fear of one another, and we will say, not us. We love each other. We love each other, and we resist the call to do otherwise every damn day. We, beloveds, are Unitarian Universalists, inheritors of a legacy rife with those who ferried folks on the Underground Railroad, who were beaten fighting for women's suffrage, who risked their lives and lost their lives to get African Americans the right to vote, to dismantle segregation, who memorialized those dying of AIDS and held their partners when no one would touch them, who took tear gas to the face in protest of police brutality, who said we refuse to study war anymore. This is our legacy, and one we are being offered a chance to earn a place within. This is the moment to see love not as a passive, warm, and fuzzy blanket, but as a call to action, a propelling force towards risk and resistance. I'm not actually asking you to do anything you don't already know how. It's the thing we've been training for all along. You don't need to run the country. You don't need to turn lead into gold. I'm asking you to make the choice to be a Unitarian Universalist in your everyday life. We're going to double down, I said, in September. When asked what we would do if the election didn't go our way, we're going to double down. Love has never been a popular movement, claims James Baldwin. The world is held together, really, it is held together by the love and passion of a very few people. Otherwise, of course you can despair, he says. Walk down the city any afternoon, any city, and look around you. What you've got to remember is what you're looking at is also you. Everyone you're looking at is also you. Love has never been a popular movement. We don't seek to be popular. We seek to be kind and brave, to bring others into the shelter of our community and to draw the circle wide and overcome. To overcome all that is within us, which tempts us to harden our hearts and look the other way, to overcome all that is beyond us, that which keeps our people poor and sick and desperate, to overcome all that humankind has built that serves to divide us and separate us and alienate and isolate us from one another. I want to tell you that we are still alive in a world that is so beautiful and so brutal all at once, and always has been. It is all drenched in meaning no matter where it's headed, and it matters that we love each other well, that we drink up the beauty and resist the brutality. It matters. May we find shelter in one another. May we find courage and tenderness and faithful love to the work of overcoming all that lays behind us, before us, and within us. May it be so, and amen. Please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 169, We Shall Overcome.
As we extinguish our chalice, please join me in unison with the words printed in your order of service.
Extinguish our chalice, the flame remains in us, as we live in the vision of this congregation,
Building beloved community through compassion, service, and empowerment.
Beloveds, it all matters that we resist the brutality and drink up the beauty, that we stay in the fight and urge one another on. It is only in the shelter of each other that we will make it through. Congregational community knows